The number of families going hungry has been astronomical. Millions of our neighbors will struggle to put food on the table this holiday season.
While American unemployment soars in the pandemic, many are turning to food banks for help. In Los Angeles today, nearly 2,000 people lined up for donations.
1 in 10 Americans now relies on a food bank on a regular basis. In some places, it is closer to 1 in 8. That means in almost any group you stand in, someone there is getting part of their food from a pantry line. Across the country, those lines are forming earlier and stretching longer. Outside churches, school gyms, parking lots, and warehouses, people wait in the dark for a box of groceries. Some are parents with kids in the backseat doing homework. Some are seniors who worked their whole lives. Some are workers still in their uniforms after a shift. Have you seen food bank lines in your area get longer or start earlier than they used to? Tell us what you have noticed in your town. On paper, the story sounds strange. The official numbers say unemployment is low and the economy is growing. Yet government surveys show food insecurity at the highest level in years, with tens of millions of people living in homes that cannot always afford enough to eat. Do you feel like the news about the economy matches your own bank account, or does it feel like two different countries? Food banks used to be seen as emergency help after a disaster or a short crisis. Now they are part of the monthly routine for millions of people. Demand keeps rising as prices stay high and support programs shrink. Think about your own grocery bill. What did a normal weekly trip cost you in 2019? And what does that same trip cost today? If you feel comfortable, write those two numbers in the comments. So how did we reach the point where 1 in 10 Americans uses food banks regularly? First, prices moved faster than paychecks. Food, rent, gas, utilities, car insurance, and health insurance all went up over a few short years. Wages did rise, but often not enough to cover the jump in basic costs. A family might see their grocery bill climb by $100 a month while their pay only grows by $30. Many households now spend a large share of their income on housing alone. Add in car payments, medical costs, and credit card interest, and there is not much left before the month even starts. Groceries are one of the only flexible areas, so people cut food or turn to pantries to fill the holes. Have higher prices pushed you to buy less food, switch to cheaper items, or skip certain things completely? Share one change you have made in your shopping. You will see how many others made the same move. Second, the safety net under food collapsed at the worst time. During the pandemic, Extra SNAP benefits helped millions stay afloat. Those emergency payments gave families breathing room. When they ended, many households lost hundreds of dollars in food money in a single month. Right after those cuts, reports showed food hardship jumping. More families said they did not have enough to eat in the last week. More said they were struggling to cover basic bills. That is exactly when food banks saw big spikes in demand. In the comments, tell us if you or someone close to you saw SNAP benefits drop in the last couple of years. Did you notice your grocery cart change right after that? Third, support for community food programs has fallen while need is rising. Programs that helped food banks buy from local farmers and supplied school cafeterias with extra food have been cut or frozen. Money that used to flow into community food systems is now on hold or gone. At the same time, new rules are making SNAP harder to get and easier to lose. Work rules are tighter. Some people are dropped from the rolls completely. States are told to do more with less. To make things worse, the government moved to end its main national hunger survey. For about 30 years, that report tracked where and how hunger was rising. Removing it makes it harder to see the damage in official numbers, even while food banks feel the impact every day. Do you think it is an accident that food help is shrinking while the main hunger report is being shut down, or does it feel planned? Tell us what you think in one short line. Now, zoom in from the big picture to one pantry line. In a Midwestern town, a food bank director describes the new normal. Before the pandemic, their warehouse served around 400 families a week. Now it is over 1,200. The line includes nurses, school bus drivers, warehouse workers, rideshare drivers, single parents, and retirees. Many of them never imagined needing this kind of help. Volunteers who thought they were signing up to help in a short crisis now realize the crisis is the baseline. They spend their days loading cars, answering questions, and turning people away when supplies run out. If you have ever used a food bank and feel safe sharing, write a short comment about what that day felt like. You might help someone else feel less ashamed if they ever need to ask for help. Food banks are doing what they can. Farmers donate extra produce instead of letting it rot. Volunteers sort, pack, and hand out boxes in every kind of weather. Churches, schools, and community centers open their rooms to store food. But charity cannot replace a program the size of SNAP. For every meal a food bank hands out, SNAP normally provides several more through regular grocery shopping. When SNAP is cut or delayed, food banks are asked to fill a huge gap with limited donations and volunteers. The human stories behind the numbers are simple and heavy. A father in Arizona works full-time, but still ends up at a pantry twice a month. He skips lunch on some days so his kids can have a full dinner. A senior in Ohio uses most of her Social Security check on rent and medicine. Without the food bank, she says she would live on toast and tea. Hunger is not just about being a little hungry between meals. It shows up in health. When people switch to cheaper, less healthy food, you see more diabetes, high blood pressure, and stress. It shows up in schools, when kids arrive tired and cannot focus because they did not eat enough. It shows up at work, when employees have less energy and more burnout. Have higher prices pushed you toward cheaper, less healthy food, like more instant noodles or processed snacks? Write yes or no, and if you want, which food changed first for you? This crisis is also changing how families think about food and money. Eating out becomes rare. People scroll through store apps, digital coupons, and clearance shelves just to save a few dollars on each trip. Parents cut small treats they used to buy without thinking. Some plan meals strictly around what is on sale, not what they actually want to cook. So what does all of this mean for you? It means the gap between doing okay and needing help is now very small. One job loss, one rent hike, or one major car repair can push a family that looked stable into the pantry line. The middle of the income ladder has far less cushion than it used to. There are a few practical steps you can take. Building even a small shelf of extra pantry items at home can give you a short buffer if something changes. Paying attention to SNAP rules and local aid programs in your state can help you move quickly if new cuts hit your area. Supporting a trusted local pantry, even with small regular donations or a few hours a month, keeps it strong for both you and your neighbors. If you have ever relied on a food bank, your story matters more than any statistic. If you feel able, tell us how it helped you or what you wish people understood about that experience. Your comment could be the reason someone else reaches out for help before things get worse. And if you know a friend, coworker, or family member who is clearly squeezed by food prices right now, send this video to them. After you do, come back and type shared in the comments so others can see how many people are quietly trying to support the people they care about. Hunger in America is not only about empty plates. It is about dignity, stability, and whether hard work can still cover basic needs. When 1 in 10 people needs a food bank to get through the month, that tells us something deep about where the system is failing. If you want clear, honest talks about what is really happening behind the headlines, hit like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. This channel breaks down the money stories that actually show up in your kitchen, not just on stock charts. Before you go, answer one more question in the comments. In your view, what is the biggest driver of this food crisis right now? Low wages, high prices, or cuts to support programs? Reading each other's answers is how we start to see the full picture, not just the one we are shown on television.